What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com, Venture Sports Consulting, Tuesday, the 27th of July. Hope everyone had a great Monday and a great start to the week. Did I say the 27th? It's supposed to be the 28th if I didn't say that. So, Tuesday, the 28th of July. And we're going to do a recap of Monday the 27th, go over a couple of things, and going to try to make this as short as possible. Don't want to do too long of a video tonight. It's already well after midnight. Well, it's 1 a.m. now. But I had to wait for, once I got my free play, the one that I knew that I was going to give out, I wanted to wait till my final game of the night finished so that I could give you guys a full recap on this video. So, obviously, everybody that watched the videos for the weekend, 6-0 run in baseball the first 2 days of the season. Or for the first 3 days of the season, we gave out 6 plays in total, going clean 6-0. But most of you probably didn't expect much less from the MLB King. I know that makes just as many people mad as it does the people who enjoy it, the ones who gave me the name. So anyway, let's get into a recap for Monday. Now, as I said on the video for Monday, we were planning on having some horse racing. And again, that was true up until 30 minutes before we were probably going to release them. I was in the middle of actually typing some of the things up. What actually happened was there were 2 tracks that he was kind of zoned in on. And started off the day, worked until about 2:30 Monday morning. And then I was up again working at 8:30 on Monday morning on baseball. 10 a.m. rolled around and had a conference call with my horse consultant. And like I said, a couple of tracks he was interested in, and there was a total of about 12 races that he had, initial selections in. So as we were going through them and I was looking at kind of where the market was at, where money was at, things like that, I quickly scratched about 7 of those selections. They just did not quite meet the cut. Some of them, there just wasn't enough value in it to, truly meet, to be to my liking and what I want to push out to my clients. So again, I have the final say. So I scratched those. And then the other ones, we broke them down further. Some of them we were actually still waiting on a couple of lines, and then once we got them, that's when we made the final decision of, okay, this is what's going to be released. And within 15 minutes of me going through and starting to type everything up, I got a phone call from him saying that Pennsylvania, or at least that area of Pennsylvania, got hit hard by some pop-up thunderstorms. And again, it's not completely uncommon, especially this time of the year, late July, getting into the dog days of summer. But Pennsylvania, a lot of the Midwest, and a lot of the Southeast got hit hard and have been getting hit hard by these pop-up thunderstorms over the past 7 to 10 days. So even though it's rare to typically have horse racing on Monday because of just the limited action, I was excited to release it. I was excited to bet it. But we ended up pulling it because of obviously the track conditions changing. And, I'm not going to take that risk or allow my clients to take that risk when it's something that could be easily prevented. So unfortunately, we laid off of horse racing. Now, the free play that I gave you on Monday's video and all of the reasons for it was the Houston Astros on the run line, minus a run and a half at minus $1.30. That was a winner. If you want my reasons and my thought process through the game, why I liked it and why I chose it, you're welcome to go back and rewatch that video. And guys, what I say is, even if you're new to the channel, number one, give a like, give a thumbs up, subscribe, number one. That's the most important thing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you see as soon as I post a video, because there are going to be days where the videos are not going to come out 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. You might only get a couple of hours. So that way, as soon as they go up, you can see it and have plenty of time to not only listen, make your own judgments on it, and then wager on it and be part of the action. But if you are somebody that really likes to get down to the nuts and bolts of everything, even though it's really irrelevant at this point, it's always worth going back and watching it so you can see where my head was at. And then you can go back and kind of see that what I say most of the time is how I say it is. But that's there if you want to see it. It was a nice winner. They had one bad inning where they went down 3-0, but then they came back. Obviously, ended up winning 8-5, so a nice, easy winner there. The Milwaukee Brewers was the game that pushed us off from doing this video a couple of hours ago. Going into the bottom of the second, Brewers versus Pirates at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. They hit a rain delay. Something else in Pennsylvania, surrounded by all those mountains around there and stuff like that. They hit a rain delay for quite a while, so that not only pushed that game back, but the game also went into extra innings. The Brewers played well. They got one error there late, which killed them. They stranded a lot of batters. They were sitting on their hit. They were getting a ton of hits. I think before they even pushed a run across, they were sitting on 5 or 6 hits for the day with no errors, where Pittsburgh only had 1 run and 1 hit, and that was off of their first home run of the season. So it was, I don't want to say it was lucky for them. I mean, obviously they hit the home run, but had it not been for that, Pittsburgh may very well have not even have scored. And I think that the whole trajectory of that game would have been different. But anyway, one really bad inning there late got Pittsburgh up. Well, not late, after the rain delay, put Pittsburgh up 5-1, and it stayed that way until the very, very end of the game, where Milwaukee was able to come back, tie it up, go scoreless in the bottom of the ninth, or force Pittsburgh to go scoreless in the bottom of the ninth, force extra innings. And after 11 innings, the Milwaukee Brewers ended up winning it. That one was a little chalky. It was a little bit more than I wanted to lay. But again, I'm not overly trusting in Milwaukee early in seasons. I mean, they have talent. They have decent pitching. They have a great bullpen, but it's still so early. I've really, really got to believe in the team and the matchup above all. If I'm going to lay a run line, which we've laid quite a few this year so far, and we've won every single one of them. But that one just wasn't one that I was comfortable laying the run line in. As I was doing the initial write-up and everything, there was a bullpen shift there later, which had I been forced to lay it, I may have. But we took them on the money line at minus. I actually bet it at 150 as I was doing the write-up, which you can see. I mean, with 4 plays today, guys, I got 5 pages of write-ups. I mean, if you want real write-ups and real reasonings, then get with a real handicapper and somebody that doesn't use a unit system. But I bet it at 150, and then by the time I got all the write-ups done and was posting it, I always double-checked the lines from William Hill. It had jumped up to 155, so I had to post that accordingly. But about an hour after I posted these games, it had shot all the way up to 170 in some spots. So it gained a lot of momentum there. But as the game that, it was a nail-biter till the end, but it ended up being a winner for us. So 2-0 there. The only loss of the day that we took was the Washington Nationals money line minus 125. Washington didn't play bad. They were generating some hits. They had one stupid error, but so did the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays really essentially had 1 good inning, or 2 good innings, I should say. Hernandez homered twice, back to back, basically, and the Blue Jays scored 4 runs in total. Every single one of those runs was off of a homer. So, congrats to them. The pitching was suspect today. Anibal Sanchez was just less than thrilling, I guess we should say. But they just couldn't put any runs across. I mean, they really, Starling Castro, I mean, just so many people were in position. They stranded so many batters. It was just embarrassing. Truth be told, both teams really did that. The game should have been a lot more higher scoring than it was. But nevertheless, I'm not going to harp on it over and over. Washington Nationals on the money line, minus 125 was the only loss of the day that we took, and that was our first loss of the MLB season. And then my favorite game of the day, I guess you could call it the highlight game, was our underdog play today in the American League. Kansas City Royals versus the Detroit Tigers. Kansas City Royals were plus 125 as a road dog, and we took them, and I gave a full 2-page write-up as to why. Some people did not like it. Some people got a kick out of it because I did not sugarcoat anything as to why I think that Detroit is an embarrassment to the game of baseball at this point. But Mike Montgomery, Michael Fulmer, it was a good game. Obviously, Kansas City started out of the gate in the second inning. They pushed a run across, and then they had a terrible inning. And they ended up going down 5-1, but then within 2 innings, they were up 7-5. They ended up winning the game 12-6, I believe, or 14-6, I believe it was, won by 8 runs. So it was an absolute blowout of an underdog winner at plus 125, putting our total for the day at 3-1 and our overall season record for Major League Baseball at 9-1. So we did it again, guys. Congrats to everyone that was a part of it. And before we get into the free play, just to give you an idea, if you are new, like I said, click subscribe, click the notification bell, because most days I do give out a free play. There will be a day, maybe 2 days every week, where I decide not to do a video, but I would still give out free information. You want to make sure you follow me on Twitter at PicksChase, PicksChase. It's in the description below, or you can go to the website chasewins.com and sign up for the email list, and because some days I might give it out on that too. That way you are for sure you never miss out on a free play in case you are not already on a paid subscription. Paid subscriptions, $50, gets you 3 days of all premium and daily top plays in all sports. If you want 7 days of that, it's $99, so that's a better bang for your buck. A month of plays is $3.99. And so on and so forth. The whole list is on chasewins.com under the purchase page, and I can promise you it will be worth your while. So let's get on a free play. Let me look at this line just to make sure that it hasn't changed, because I'm going to give you an underdog that I like. And the reason that I'm going to do it now versus doing it in the morning is because I do think that this line may move, and I don't think that it's going to change my opinion on the game, but right now we're getting great value with a team that just got scorched tonight, or should I say last night, because it's already after midnight. But the Atlanta Braves right now are plus $1.20 on the road at Tampa Bay. Now here's the thing. Tampa Bay whooped that ass tonight, or on Monday night, I should say. But then again, let's put an asterisk by that, because again, how many times do you see Tampa Bay put up those type of runs? It's still the beginning of the season. There's a lot of runs scored by a lot of teams, even teams that just can't score a lot of runs. Hence, Detroit, a team that just doesn't know how to put up runs, is putting up a lot of runs. That'll slow down in the coming days. When pitchers get into a groove, bullpens get into a true groove, and batters start not being lucky a lot. So, again, there's a lot of high-scoring games right now. I do think this season will be more high-scoring than normal, but I do think that it'll get more normal, I guess you could say, as far as the amount of runs being scored over the next 7 to 10 days. Now, Atlanta is going into an interesting spot. I actually had a client call me, and I love it. I love this client. Good friend of mine. I consider him a good friend. Fairly smart individual. Sometimes he likes to act like he knows a little bit more than he does, which causes us to get into a friendly little argument, and I have to, present my side of the story. But it calls for a good argument tonight, which this is one of the reasons why I want to break this game down to everybody. Let you know my thought process. Excuse me. This particular game poses something for both teams that is out of the ordinary because of the situation that we're in. Now, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago actually, some of the American League teams, the Angels started it and the Rays started it, dabbling with putting in a closer to start the game, letting them go an inning, and then putting in a starter, middle of the pack starter, usually third or fourth, position starter. And last year you had your experts going, oh, they're starting to do this now. Well, they've been doing it for 4 years. Well, they're not going to stop now. The problem is now with players testing positive, players opting out, so many things happening, so much, unknown is going on, that now they're going to do it on a bullpen day. And I truly believe that that's what's going to happen on Tuesday. So Yanni, Mr. Some people say I pronounced, excuse me, his last name wrong, but Yanni Chirinos, right-hander for Tampa Bay. He is one of those guys that I truly believe, and I think the most likely scenario is they put him in, they let him start the game, and they turn it over to the bullpen after the first inning. Maybe after the second, if he just goes 3 up, 3 down. Kyle Wright, someone that isn't overwhelming or anybody to write home about by any stretch of the imagination for the Atlanta Braves, will be going in. Now, here's the thing. I do think that it's going to be more of a bullpen game for the Braves as well. But they're going to let Kyle go for as long as he can go. Kyle has the ability to go pitch 4 innings, maybe 5. Don't know that he'll make it, but I truly believe that unless he just puts Atlanta in a really bad position, that we're going to see him for at least 3 innings. Well, hell, in 3 innings, we might see 3 or 4 pitchers for Tampa Bay. Now, when I brought this up to my client, he goes, well, you kind of just shot your theory in the foot, because if you look at when the American League teams do this, especially teams like Tampa Bay was one of the best in the world at winning those games where they would put in a closer or a reliever for 1 inning and then turn it over to the starter. Look at how much success they had. And I said, okay, well, you say I shot myself in the foot with that statement. Actually, you just proved my point. Because look at the teams they were beating most days on that. And by the way, they were not turning it over to the bullpen. They were turning it over to a true starter. So 2 differences. Number 1, you were taking a closer, putting him in for an inning, and then turning it over to an actual starter. That's number 1, something that's not going to happen on Tuesday because you don't have a starter that's prepared. Number 2, you were doing it to American League teams, number 1, not National League teams, and you were doing it to the likes of the Boston Red Sox, to the Baltimore Orioles, to the Detroit Tigers, to the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto struggled mightily even with power hitters on their team like Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero. You were doing it to the Baltimore Orioles that are a complete dumpster fire, and you were doing it to the Detroit Tigers, who are, how do I want to put this? If shit's here, then they're 4 stories below it. Sorry, they just are. And I love that city. I've got a lot of respect for the history of that team. I love the people there. They suck. They're awful. They're an embarrassment to the game of baseball right now. And their management staff is absolutely horrid. And I'm not just talking about their manager. I'm talking about their front office. The fact that they will develop and draft so much talent and piss it away and get nothing in return. And do it knowingly. It blows my mind. But I said, so you put a big asterisk by the success they had when using that closer starter, montage that they're doing, and that so many American League teams have taken on over the past couple of years. I said, they weren't doing it in National League teams. They sure as fuck weren't doing it to the Atlanta Braves, one of the most successful, youngest, most vibrant lineups in all of baseball. I said, now here's the thing. You say that it poses problems because the Braves aren't used to it, because it's going to be, hey, we're not used to having to see a new pitcher every inning. We're not used to seeing a closer start and then they turn it over. You're right, they're not. But here's the thing. They're not Albert Pujols. They're not these veteran players that are so talented. Miguel Cabrera. Look at players like Albert Pujols, somebody that will go down as one of the best hitters baseball's ever had, a first ballot Hall of Famer without question. Would he struggle with something like that? He did. Go back and look. But when you have these young hitters like Dansby Swanson, Ronald Acuna Jr., you take these guys that are so talented, so powerful, and only getting better with time. That's the key. They are still young. They still, think about Javier Baez, who swings for the hills at just about anything. He's a very aggressive hitter, whether he's successful or not. He's a very open and free hitter, and he's going to swing. He's not there to crowd the plate and see what you're going to do. He's there to get a hit, and he's going to swing the bat. Look at the Braves. Even if Acuna is conservative, either if Inciarte is conservative, even if Dansby Swanson is conservative, one night, you're not going to find a game in the last 3 to 4 seasons as the Braves have gone through this revamping of their squad and their franchise where they have been conservative as a team at the plate. They're open, they're free, they're aggressive, and they're talented. They're young and they're powerful. So, what does Tampa Bay lack this year to a certain extent that they have had in the past few years where they have been one of the better teams in the AL East? A good bullpen. And I'm not saying they don't have one, but it's a lot. Let's just be as clear as we can. It's not near as good as it has been in the past few years. Nowhere close. The Braves, their bullpen was their main issue the past 2 years that they have won the NL East. It's getting better. It's night and day difference to what it was, and I think we've already seen that so far. You look at what happened on Monday against the Rays, how they go out there and get absolutely anally assaulted and give up so many runs to a team that's just not that powerful at the plate. Well, when the bullpen takes over and starts to get into a rhythm, they kind of halt that down just a little bit. And their lineup starts to come alive a little bit with Tampa Bay's bullpen. They got shelled, truth be told. Even though they put up as many runs as they did, they got shelled based on what they gave up. What happens when a team like Atlanta underperforms at the plate, just like they did in Game 1 against the Mets, losing 1-0. They go out the next day. They perform better at the plate. Sunday, they go out and the floodgates open. Now they're dealing with a different animal. They put up runs, but they get shelled. I think that their bats will come alive in a different way tomorrow. I think they'll come alive earlier. I think they'll come alive more consistently. And I think Tampa Bay was a flash in the pan on Monday. And I think the fact that they're going to rely on their bullpen against such a potent, young, vibrant lineup, I think is going to hurt them. So I think the fact that they're going to switch, thinking, oh, let's catch you off guard, you can't catch people off guard that are willing to swing the bat, period. Plus your bullpen, if it was 100% 2 years ago, it's 40% now, period. Give me the Atlanta Braves, the better team, the better lineup, the better managed team, the better bullpen, and give them to me as an underdog coming off of a huge loss. Atlanta Braves premium play plus $1.20. That is your play for Tuesday. 9-1 MLB record, the best in the business. There is no one better. There will never be anyone better. Get linked up now, and I will have you making money in no time. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Hell, hit the dislike button. I don't care. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell so I can keep giving you free winners every day. I love you guys. Stay tuned for another big Tuesday. And I'll see you back for a free play on Wednesday. Thanks, guys.